interview with Rabbi Michael Mandel. This is tape 13. Daniel, you were just telling me about, you said there's a limit to how much retelling. What was the statement, the sentence you said?
Well, I think there's a limit to what another person can glean from someone else's retelling. There's a lot, but ultimately this is, I suppose, the nature of the human experience. There's a limit to what you can actually understand and imagine of someone else's experience.
Do you think you've personally reached that limit with respect to understanding your father's experiences?
I think so. I think so because I don't know if it's more than most people in my situation, but I feel that starting at an early stage, I was always engrossed in the story and wanted to know more. I've surprised myself at times in that I thought I might have had a good picture, and yet there's always new layers of meaning to penetrate. But I think all in all there is a limit one can reach through retelling.
Just finally, do either of you have anything else to add, Rabbi? Or
for myself, my family is very precious to me. I've got several cousins left alive and their children and their families, and though most of them are not observant, yet I love them just the same. Perhaps even more, hoping and praying that they might one day come back to the fold properly, to observance and so on. My sister, who lives in Sydney, and we are in close contact, and her family and myself are very close. It's very precious to me, and my grandchildren, my daughter-in-law, one of the best daughters-in-law in the world. There couldn't be any better anywhere. If my Daniel finds a woman similar to her character and her accomplishments, etc., I would be very, very delighted, very pleased. And I hope and pray that soon the true redemption will come, the Mashiach will come. I believe with all my heart that he will come. I also must say that he is long overdue. And I'm afraid there is nothing very much that I can do myself, or perhaps there is something. I'm trying to do what I can to hasten that period when there will be universal peace, universal brotherhood under the fatherhood of God.
Rabbi and Daniel, thank you very much.
This is my late father, Herman Mandel, taken in 1936 by Burkosh photo. It's a passport photo, and I obtained it by through my nephew, Yolan's son, Shmilu Green.
Where was this photo taken, Rabbi?
In Shimleul, in my hometown.
How old was your father at this point?
If I remember correctly, he was 68.
And you said it was a passport photo. What was the purpose of him getting a passport?
Trying to get a visa, a passport to go to Hungary, to take me there, but he was refused, and he couldn't obtain one. So I was sent by someone else. I was taken by someone else to Hungary from Romania.
Thank you.
From left to right, the man standing is my uncle Isidore, and in front of him is my step-grandmother, my grandfather's third wife. next to the man on his left is my uncle Menachem Mandel, and in front of him is my auntie Sidi Neni, with my cousin Mordechai in her arm. Next to it is, next to the baby is Kato Neni, my auntie who looked after me for 4 years between 36 to 1940. Next to her is my aunt Serene, who was the wife of my uncle Yenu, or Yaakov. And next to Serene is my grandfather of blessed memory, Rabbi Avrom Shimshon Mandel. And next to him is my late mother of blessed memory, who passed away in 1932 on Tisha B'Av. I was 4 years at the time. In front of my grandfather, that is the right, on the right, is my cousin who lives now in Israel, in Tel Aviv. His name is, originally, he was known as Bondi, but he changed his name to Amos in Israel. And next to him is another cousin, Gabriel, or Yuri. He passed away some years ago in Israel. Next to him is, on his right, is Tibi, as far as I know, the eldest son of Isidore and Sidi, Isidore Bachi and Sidi Neni, and the young girl standing next to my step-grandmother was a very gracious lady, and her name is Olga, who is the sister, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not certain about this, but I think it is Olga, who is the youngest sister of my auntie Serene.
Do you know where and when this photo was taken?
Must have been taken in Budapest. My uncle Geza or Yecheskel and his wife Irene Neni were not present, neither their children. I do not know, maybe they were away on holiday or whatever, but it must have been in Budapest.
Do you know what year?
Around 19, I think we said 1923.
Was there any occasion for this photo?
I don't know of any occasion, just probably because they were together. My grandfather lived in a place called Akácfutca, Acacia Wood Street in Budapest, the same street where my uncle Jenő and Géza's factory was.
Thank you.
And where the book, which was commenced by one of my forebears, David Oppenheimer, the manuscripts were kept in that street, in the factory, in the attic, and it was bombed and never found. There was a copy of a book which was printed earlier. It was reprinted in Bnei Brak, called Nachlat David ala Torah.
Thank you.
The young woman on the far left bottom is my sister Theresia, or Tubi, as she was known affectionately. And she was, at that time, in 1944, she was in the grounds of the St. James Hospital, where she was a patient, and that there are young ladies next to her are fellow patients.
Which city was this photo taken?
In Budapest, on Buda
And-
side, the right bank of the Danube.
And how did you obtain this photo?
This I had with me all the time. I found it at my uncle's place in 1945, and I took it and I kept it with me.
Thank you.
Taken in the grounds of the Mikéfe, which is an agricultural school. It was the Hachshara, or training farm, for those who were intending to go on Aliyah to Israel. It was owned by the Jewish community of Budapest. It's a few miles out of Budapest, a few kilometers outside of Budapest. It's called Mikéfe, Rákos, I can't remember exactly the place.
Who's in this photo?
In this photo is my cousin on the right. His name is Zoltán, Zoli, as he was known, Mordechai in Hebrew. He is the one whose photo appeared, who appears in the photo, previous photo, where he's held in his mother's arm as a baby.
What's his last name?
Mandel.
And who's the person on the left?
On the left is myself. The photo was taken on the grounds of Mikéfe
What year do you know?
in 1946.
Thank you.
This is a photo taken, as far as I know, in Haifa in 1952, soon after the arrival of Barbara Kowalski with her late mother, may she rest in peace. When I got to know her, she arrived in Haifa port, coming from England at the time.
Who is Barbara?
Barbara is my first wife, and the mother of my two children. God bless them.
Thank you.
This photo was taken at the Great Synagogue just before I left the Great Synagogue. When I was awarded a scholarship in 1969, I took it up in 1970, and this is in the pulpit of the Great Synagogue in Sydney.
Thank you.
The letter in front of us is the one that my late father of blessed memory sent to me. It is dated 1944, April the 27th. My darling son, Raphael, may you live till 120, in abbreviated form. Last night I received your telegram in which you are asking for a local authority certificate, and I have asked Dr. Samuel, the lawyer, what I should send you. He suggested that I send you a birth certificate because on it the relationship between you and me is clearly stated, and it also at the same time, of course, gives you your identity. Ian Meg write to me clearly what else should it contain, or what sort of other certificate I can send you in case this is not sufficient. And I have just come back from the mayor's office, Dr. Udvary's office, and I have to apply for any certificate, and I cannot, unfortunately, hurry it up because I am a Jew, underlined, and I just have to wait. I shall send it to you as soon as I can.
How did you
this is a photocopy of a one-leaf letter with two sides, and this is the second side. You said not to be angry with you. How could I be ever angry with you, my darling son? I would be so happy to embrace you. With God's help, I am going to obtain those certificates both for you and for Therese, and I shall send it to you as soon as I can. We cannot understand why Mano Bachi is asking for underwear. For the time being, we are all right. Underlined, we are still all right. I'm just now coming from the office of the mayor, who is away in Ziloy or Zalau, and my loving kisses to both of you and to all of you, your loving father.
Do you have the original of this letter, Rabbi? And how did you keep it, or did you keep it after you received it? How did you carry it through from when you received it till?
It was amongst the photos and belongings of my at my uncle's place in Budapest, where we had a very wonderful housekeeper who quite forbidden, but of course she was very brave and very daring. In fact, she went to my uncle's home where she had the keys to, and carried away some 8 suitcases full of things belonging to my uncle and aunt, took it to her place, which is in an outside suburb, an outer suburb of Budapest, and she just kept it in her place. And of course, when the war was over, she brought it back and gave it to my uncle and aunt.
Do you remember her name?
Yes, Margit was her name, Margit.
Do you know her surname?
No, I can't remember that. Or maybe I do. I think it was Nagy. I'm not sure.
Could you spell that?
Nagy is spelled Nagy, but Margit was her name.
Thank you.
Whilst in Jerusalem, I took my family, my son, my daughter-in-law, and their 5 children to a pizza establishment. And on the right-hand side, that's myself. On my right-hand side is David, my elder son, and on his right is my daughter-in-law, Sharon, and next to her, on her right, is Yedidia Tzvi, the eldest grandson. Next to him, Eliada Yaakov, the second eldest grandson. Then my princess, known as Achinoam Rachel, and then on her right is the elder one of the twins. His name is Aminadav Zakai, and next to him, he was very tired, and he just put his head on his shoulder, on his arm. Next to him is his twin sister, my mini princess, and her name is Hadaraya Fit.
Thank you.
Which means splendorous beauty. This is a family photo of my only surviving sister, Shandi or Erna, as she is known, with her whole family. She's got 2 children, Robert and Susan. Robert on the second row, from the right with his wife, Susan Seltzer. Then on my left, the right of my sister is the eldest granddaughter by her daughter, Susan, who is behind that. That's the top left lady. And there is one son held in the arm of his father. His name is Rabbi David Avigdor. Next to it is my brother-in-law. Now the row below, from the left to right, is Malki and Hani. They are the daughters of Susan, Seifman, now Susan Avigdor, and then the daughter of my nephew and his wife Susan, and her name is Lisa. Next to it is her twin brother named Mark, and in front of Mark is the younger son of my nephew, and his name is Asher Dane. And in the middle, on the bottom, is Chayala.
Thank you.